The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay, good afternoon. We are back. We are calling the 6 p.m. regular council meeting for June session to order. If you haven't silenced your phones, please do so. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nico Reynoso.
Present.
Councilman Rafael Pinedo.
Present.
Councilwoman Digna Cabral is not present. Vice Mayor Maureen Porras.
Here.
Mayor Christie Fraga.
Present.
Mayor, you have quorum.
Okay, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilman Pinedo.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We have an absence, so I either need a motion to excuse the absence.
Motion.
Motion by Vice Mayor Porras. Is there a second? Okay, no second. The evening session is unexcused. Okay, we'll move on now to public comments. I'm sorry, I have a mint. I thought we were gonna take longer. All right, we're opening up the public comments portion of this meeting. The public portion of this meeting is now open. If anyone would like to speak, please approach the podium. I have no comment cards. Being none, public comments is now closed. We'll now move into the public hearings.
Okay. May I please swear in the witnesses, Mayor?
Yes.
If you will be presenting testimony on any of the public hearing items, please say your right hand. Repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that the information that I'm about to present shall be the truth and nothing but the truth. Thank you very much. Item 19A, ordinance number 2025-21, adopting the ratified investment policy. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, adopting a ratified investment policy for the city of Doral, providing for severability, implementation, incorporation of recitals, incorporation into the code, and an effective date.
All right, thank you very much. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the public hearing for this item. Public hearing for item 19A is now open. Anyone who would like to speak on this item, please approach the podium. I have no comment cards. Public hearing is now closed. Madam Clerk, let the record reflect, no one has chosen to speak at this time, and now we will hear from Finance.
Yes, Mayor. Our Finance Director, Solangel Perez.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. In accordance with Section 218.415 of the Florida statutes that allows the city to adopt an investment policy which sets forth the investment objectives and parameters for the management of the public funds of the city. As required by this policy, the Finance Department shall review the policy annually, and the City Council shall approve any modifications made thereto. The city's current investment advisor, PFM Asset Management, has reviewed the policy and have recommended the changes detailed in the memo attached to this item. With these investment policy updates, the city will continue to meet the requirements of the Florida statute, the Association of Public Treasurers of U.S. and Canada, and to be in line with the GFOA, Government Finance Officers Association, investment policy best practices. Are there any questions?
No, thank you very much. Any questions? Okay, being none, I need a motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion to approve by Councilman Pinedo,
Second.
second by Councilwoman Reynoso. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2025-21 on first reading made by Councilman Pinedo, seconded by Councilwoman Reynoso. Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
And Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, we move on to item 19B.
Item 19B, ordinance number 2025-22, Doral Concourse Flum Amendment. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving a small-scale land use amendment to the city of Doral Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Map to change land use categories from office and residential OR to downtown mixed-use DMU for a 5-acre parcel of land located at 8400 Northwest 36th Street, providing for incorporation of recital, severability, conflicts, and an effective date.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and open up the public hearing. Public hearing is now open for item 19B. Anyone who would like to speak, please approach the podium. I have no comment cards. Seeing none. Public hearing is now closed. Madam Clerk, the record reflect, no one has chosen to speak at this time. I'll also take ex parte communication at this time, if any. I have none. Okay, being none, we'll turn it over now to planning and zoning.
Madam Mayor,
Items B, C, and D are related as one project. I've prepared one collective presentation. If it's the council's will, if we could also open up and introduce items C and D, we could present them as one.
I will defer to the city attorney. Otherwise, what we can do is you can do one presentation and then we'll take each item and we just won't hear the presentations for each of those. However,
I think that would be the best.
okay, yeah, just because we have ex parte and we also have to do public hearing for those. So we'll go ahead and hear this presentation and then we'll just take up the items.
I'm happy to present it 3 times, but.
That's okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's the applicant, right?
No, I think that's the applicant.
That's the applicant. You need to
Yeah,
do the
can we
staff.
get staff's
I'm like, no.
presentation? 1 second. There we go.
Thank you. The applicant, MG Doral Office LLC, is proposing a project, Doral Concourse, for property located at 4400 Northwest 87th Avenue, and the site is approximately 5 acres. Through their request, the applicant has 3 applications before you this evening, and then they'll come back again for second reading with an additional 4th application. The first request is a land use amendment from for the future land use map amendment from office and residential and industrial to downtown mixed use. Their second request is a rezoning from industrial commercial to downtown mixed use. And the third request before you this evening is a request for a master development agreement, which will include items like project details, zoning specifications, community benefits, roadway and transit improvements, concurrency, site plan, and project schedules. And I'll delve deeper into that later on in the presentation. As indicated, the site is zoned office, residential, and industrial. I'm sorry, apologies. The site is zoned industrial commercial with a land use of office, residential, and industrial. Future land use categories to the north, south, and east are downtown mixed use, with industrial commercial to the north and downtown mixed use to the south and to the east. To the west, we have a land use of office and residential and industrial commercial. So the compatibility for the request is consistent with that of the surrounding neighborhood. Existing views of the property are up on the screen. There is an isometric aerial of the property, and then views from Northwest 36th Street and 84th Avenue, a view of the eastern side of the property, and a view of the western side of the property. The site is currently developed with an office building and related parking. So through their land use amendment, they're again requesting to amend the land use map from office residential and industrial to downtown mixed use. The DMU future land use element permits business, retail, office, and residential uses. The mixture of uses is required at every DMU site, meaning if you only have office use, like their current developed structure, you would not be able to rezone or reland use to DMU. The land use application is typically limited to 10 acres or greater in size. However, council may consider a DMU flume amendment for property less than 10 acres if 2 conditions are met. First, that the property is adjacent to an existing DMU parcel. City Place Doral is located immediately to the east. And second, that the property be located south of 58th Street, east of Northwest 87th Avenue, north of Northwest 33rd Street, and west of Northwest 79th Avenue. And in this case, the property does meet both those conditions. So we can consider a 5-acre parcel for land use amendment. Their second application is a rezoning from industrial commercial to downtown mixed use. The intent of the downtown mixed use is to provide horizontal and vertical integration of urban-oriented uses in the city center. The purpose is to promote planned development of large mixed-use projects in downtown Doral by allowing a greater freedom of design, improving the opportunity for flexibility and creativity and innovation in land development. The code further provides that the district, like previously stated, allows for business, retail, office, and residential uses. The mixture of uses is required on every DMU site. Through this application, the reason why they're requesting land use amendment and rezoning is because they would like to introduce restaurant uses on the ground floor. And in order to do that, they need to undergo this process. The third request before you is a master development agreement, and the MDA pursuant to City Code has certain criteria that they have addressed in their MDA that's currently under review and for your consideration this evening. The first requirement is that the MDA shall specify project location, legal description, and a description summarizing the information contained in City Code Section 68-582-8A. The second is zoning specifications for the project. So in this case, they're retrofitting an existing single-use structure currently comprised of offices only, and they're proposing to activate the ground floor by adding just under 20,000 square feet of restaurant use. Another criteria required by the MDA is the community benefit features and the public art to be installed. The applicant is proffering to activate the frontage with pedestrian-friendly amenities, including walkways, landscaping, and trellises. They're upgrading the existing fountain and incorporating public art, and they're making the lake accessible to the public as civic space. Another criteria through the MDA is roadway and transit improvements that are to be built by the developer. Through this category, the traffic study proposes to signalize the main intersection access driveway on Northwest 36th Street pending related agency approvals from Miami-Dade County and then from the city. And they're also will also require that prior to occupancy, coordination with Miami-Dade County TSS, traffic signals and signs be completed for cycle length and signal operating plan at Northwest 36th Street to minimize traffic spillback onto the nearby adjacent intersections. The MDA also speaks to project phasing, commencement, and completion dates for each phase and final build-out date of the project. Because this office structure is already built, the commencement and completion dates are not going to be as lengthy as they would in a completely vacant site that is undeveloped. The MDA also requires a technical statement for compliance with the city and the county concurrency requirements. As I stated, there will be a fourth application before you when these items come forward for second reading. And through that application, we have completed the requisite concurrency analysis on behalf of the city and the county. A site plan is also a requisite requirement, and that will come before you for your approval. And then any other information that's deemed pertinent by the planning and zoning director or the city council. Staff recommends that the mayor and council approve the following request for property located at 8400 Northwest 36th Street. The first is a land use amendment from office and residential and industrial to downtown mixed use. The second request, rezoning from industrial commercial to downtown mixed use. And the third request, approval of the master development agreement. Thank you so much for your time. The applicant is here for their presentation, and I'm available for questions.
Thank you, Michelle. Mr. Diaz de la Portilla, would you like to give your presentation as well?
I'm sorry, Mayor, I did.
Would you like to give your presentation as well? Yes, quickly.
Sure, and I'll make it brief, in the interest of everyone's time here. I'm Miguel Diaz de la Portilla. My address is 600 Brickell Avenue, 35th floor, Miami, Florida. I'm here with my law partner and wife, Elinette Ruiz Diaz de la Portilla. This time I didn't forget to introduce her. and my client, who is here, as well as Modus Ana Trinchet from Modus Architects, to answer any questions that you may have. We think your director gave a wonderful presentation, and we agree with it wholeheartedly. We have strong recommendations of approval on all three of the matters before you today. I just want to highlight a couple of brief things. I don't want to repeat what you just heard, but you're all familiar with the property. This property was zoned before the city of Doral existed. And so it looks in great shape. It's a wonderful office building, but it isn't the vision that Doral later on implemented when they adopted their master plan in 2006, when they adopted when you adopted the Doral Boulevard master plan, when you adopted the strategic plan. And so the building is wonderful, but what we're looking to do is bring it in line with your vision, the city's vision, both in the comp plan and in the Doral Boulevard master plan, as well as accomplishing the goals of your strategic plan, which of course seeks to generate revenue by increasing property values, fund the CIP through improvements, and beautify the city and beautify the space. And so the concept behind this, change the land use to DMU. Why? Because we're surrounded by DMU. We're right next to City Place, after all. In fact, this is the ideal location for DMU, according to your comp plan. Why? Because it's in the very center, in the heart of the city, right? North of 33rd Street, south of 58th Street, right on Doral Boulevard, west of 79th Avenue, east of 87th Avenue. And so we're at the very heart of Doral. What we're seeking to do is not just change it to DMU on the comp plan, but also in that land use category, but rezone it from what it is now, industrial commercial, to DMU, again, to accomplish the same purpose. We meet all the requirements of your code under section 53-213C. And what that requires is, well, you know, a change in the circumstances, right? And the change is, back when this building was zoned and built, the population of this city, of this area, was about 23,000. You're approaching 85,000 people now in the great city of Doral. Back then, Doral was basically pretty much a bunch of single-use structures. You've encouraged, through your comp plan, you've encouraged mixed use, again, to activate the downtown, to have people outside, to have pedestrian activity. So we're accomplishing that as well. These are the changes, right, that have occurred. The need, only 3.7% of the properties in the city of Doral are DMU. With a city approaching a population of 85,000, that is not enough to even provide for the very people in the city, so we're accomplishing that as well. And finally, compatibility, and as you've heard from your director, we're surrounded by DMU, so we're just seeking to change to what is all around us. And you're gonna see the site plan when we come back. We're excited to show that to you and go into detail on that, because really it's a beautification of the space. It's activating it, it's adding landscaping, it's adding trellises, it's adding pedestrian walkways, it's connecting it to City Place so it isn't an isolated office building. And finally, the big goal that you all have is make Doral a wonderful place to live, work, and play. Right now, you can only work in that building. We want to be able to have all the people of Doral, not just the ones who work in that building, play in that building as well, and enjoy fine dining in that space, dining that isn't available today. You have fine dining already, but concepts that aren't available today that will be available for you and your residents and visitors. So the master development agreement you've heard about, it incorporates all these things, it places timeframes, it has all the requirements. I ask for your support and the recommendation that you have from your staff among the many things that it says is that there isn't a single goal, objective, or policy of your comp plan that this proposal does not meet or does not comply with or would violate. Thank you, and I ask you for your support. If you have any questions, we're here to answer them.
Thank you, Mr. Diaz de la Bordilla. Any questions for the applicant or for staff at this time?
Motion to approve.
A motion to approve by Councilman Pinedo.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Reynoso. I do have just two questions for clarification, since we're going to take all three items independently, but very quickly, back to back. One, is there a plan for redevelopment for this building at some point?
Well, the building is right now on the property appraiser's roll, a $78 million building. It's in excellent condition. It's only about 24 years old. Eventually, there will be, but it's a useful building. It's an impeccably kept space. So the immediate plan for right now is to activate that ground floor as your comp plan wants. I would imagine that as the building gets to the end of its useful life or closer to it, there will be other plans. And of course, Mayor, the way the city of Doral is going, that may be a lot sooner than we all think.
Okay. And then my second question is, in the current MDA, there is no contemplation for residential, correct?
Correct.
So
No residential.
If residential was to be introduced in a future redevelopment, the MDA would need to come back to council.
Yes, we would need to come back to you, and not only that, the future site plan that you're going to see and hopefully approve will have to come back as well.
Okay, just wanted to clarify those 2 points for the benefit of the public. All right, thank you very much.
ma'am.
If there's no additional questions, then I think we can call the roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2025-22 on first reading made by Councilman Pinedo, seconded by Councilwoman Reynoso. Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Porras? Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, so the next item, Madam Clerk.
19C, ordinance number 2025-23, Doral Concourse rezoning. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving an amendment to the city's official zoning map from industrial commercial IC to downtown mixed-use DMU for the property located at 8400 Northwest 36th Street, Doral, Florida, providing for incorporation or recital, severability, conflicts, and an effective date.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and open up public comments for 19C. Anyone who would like to speak on this item, please approach the podium. Okay, being none, public comments is now closed. I will take any ex parte communication at this time. None? None? Same for me. Okay, we'll go ahead and incorporate the 2 presentations we heard for the previous item into this item, and if there's no additional questions, then we'll take a motion.
Motion.
Motion to approve by Councilwoman Reynoso. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Pinedo. Any questions? Then Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2025-23 on first reading made by Councilwoman Reynoso, seconded by Councilman Pinedo. Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, next item, Madam Clerk.
Item 19D, ordinance number 2025-24, Doral Concourse MDA. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving the MG3 Doral Office LLC Master Development Agreement in order to develop approximately 19,565 square feet of restaurant use, providing for incorporation of recitals, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and open up the public comments. Public comments is now open for item 19D. Anyone who'd like to speak on this item, please approach the podium. All right, being none, public comments is now closed. Madam Clerk, let the record reflect no one has chosen to speak at this time. And if there's no additional comments, we will go ahead and incorporate the presentations for the last item, the last 2 items into this item as well. And I will entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion to approve by Councilman Pinedo.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Reynoso. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2025-24 on first reading made by Councilman Pinedo, seconded by Councilwoman Reynoso. Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you very much. Madam Clerk, going into second reading items.
Thank you, Mayor and Council and staff.
Second reading items, item 19E, ordinance number 2025-18, amending chapter 38, alcoholic beverages. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, amending chapter 38 of the cities of Doral Code of Ordinances titled Alcoholic Beverages, providing for incorporation of recitals, incorporation into the code, severability, and an effective date. This was approved on first reading on May 14th.
Okay, we're opening up public comments for item 19E. Anyone would like to speak on this item, please approach the podium at this time. Being none, public comments now closed. Madam Clerk, let the record reflect no one has chosen to speak at this time. If there is any presentation, I think the city attorney or this, no, yes, there's no changes, right, from first to second?
There's no
I think
changes
minor
between first
changes.
and, yeah, like Scrivener's errors and things like that, but no substantive changes between first and
If
second.
the council does not need any additional presentations or has any questions, then we will entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion to approve by Councilman Pinedo,
Second.
second by Councilwoman Reynoso. If there's no additional questions, Madam Clerk, please call roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2025-18 on second reading made by Councilman Pinedo, seconded by Councilwoman Reynoso. Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, moving on to the next item.
Next item, item 19F, ordinance number 2025-19, amending chapter 68, article 3, tenant parking and mixed-use developments. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, amending chapter 68, article 3 of the city of Doral Code of Ordinances, title office districts, creating section 68-307, titled parking districts and mixed-use developments, providing for incorporation of recitals, incorporation into the code, severability, and an effective date. This was approved on first reading on May 14th.
All right, public hearing is now open for item 19F. Anybody who would like to speak, please approach the podium. Being none, public comments is now closed. Similar to other items, this is second reading, and I don't believe there's been any changes.
No substantive changes between first and second.
Okay, if there's no additional comments or presentations, we would now entertain a motion, sorry.
Motion.
Motion to approve by Councilman Pinedo, second by Councilwoman Reynoso. Madam Clerk, please call roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2025-19 on second reading made by Councilman Pinedo, seconded by Councilwoman Reynoso. Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, next item.
Next item, item 19G, Ordinance number 2025-20, amending Chapter 68, Article 4, tandem parking and mixed-use developments. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, amending Chapter 68, Article 4 of the city of Doral Code of Ordinances titled Commercial Districts, creating Section 63-387, tandem parking and mixed-use developments, providing for incorporation of recitals, incorporation into the code, severability, and an effective date. This was approved on first reading on May 14th.
Okay, public hearing is now open for item 19G. Anyone who'd like to speak on this item, please approach the podium. All right, being none, public hearing is now closed. Madam Clerk, let the record reflect no one has chosen to speak at this time. This is also a second reading. I believe there's no changes.
No substitute changes between first and second.
Perfect, thank you very much. If there's no additional comments or questions, I would entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion to approve at a good time by Councilwoman Reynoso, second by Councilman Pinedo. Madam Clerk, please call roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2025-20 on second reading made by Councilwoman Reynoso, seconded by Councilman Pinedo. Councilwoman Reynoso.
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Porras.
Yes.
Mayor Fraga.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, this concludes, we've exhausted our agenda, concludes our meeting for today. I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion to adjourn by Councilwoman Reynoso, second by Councilman Pinedo. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Enjoy your Father's Day and happy 4th of July. Remember, we do not have a July council meeting. Bye, everybody. God bless.